join in on this conversation. I have a couple of questions to get for Dr. Zhang to get started. So you opened up with the three big major structural challenge on us already, not ahead of us, but already on us now. And to stick to the theme, to elaborate further on the theme of tonight, my first question is this: what is the American dream in your view? What is the American dream, and why is it important, and to whom? Dr. Zhang, are you?
Yes, for a minute, the connection was kind of poor. Can you hear me good now? Can you hear me well?
Yes, perfectly. Okay. Yes, I was thinking so too.
Right, yes. I was curious. I'm breaking up. So what was your question again? Is it that
so the question is? Yes. So the question is, we are talking about the American dream from the individual dream to a collective dream. So what is so to step back? What is the American dream? For example, is it about a material possessions or something? What is the American dream, and what is its importance, and to whom?
Yes, a good question. Well, obviously, people from different parts have a different, everybody have a different background, they have a different answer. However, I believe that most Asian Americans, just as all other Americans, they share some fundamental basic sets of, I would say, three basic sets of beliefs, core values about what we really define as
We lost Xiaoyan.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm gonna. Yes, Xiaoyan, you are back in the room. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, Dr. Zhang, are you back now? Can you speak? Can you test? Oh, not yet.
So, Han, at this moment, can you just reset the room and yes, tell our newcomers?
Very good.
Go ahead.
Yes. Diana, I have a quick question. Can you record? Or no?
Yes, I am.
Yes. Okay. Very good. All right. So let me reset the room while we fix the technical issues here. Yes. So this is the Asian Americans Network. We meet every Tuesday. This is for Asian Americans and anybody who either enjoys Asian culture or work with Asians. We meet every Tuesday, normally at 6:30. Tonight is a little bit earlier at 4:30. We meet on Clubhouse to network, share our stories, and support each other. Even without disagreements, that would just make for diversity. The rules of especially when you hear different opinions, and also to participate fully and express yourself. Please do speak up and please join. In particular, we are going to start out, with my questions to Dr. Zhang, and during that time, we are going to record and we will post it after editing. After that first part, I'm going to open up the room and invite everybody to speak up. You don't have to, you're never forced, but now you are all invited. All right, back to Dr. Zhang. The first question is regarding the American dream. What is the meaning of it, and why is it important, and to whom?
Yes, I think to me, we all have to ask our fundamental question, why we came to America in the first place, right? We all came to this country, of course, because the freedom and the opportunity and also material goods, you can pursue your happiness. But I also realized over time, I think most people, Asian Americans and Americans, probably share this value. The core American value, to define American dream, really is connected. And there are, for example, individual freedom is very much connected to self-reliance and responsibility. You can't have just one without the other, right? The second one is we want equal opportunity, but at the same time, we also have to accept competition. Of course, we want to be fair competition. And then three is yes, we want material goods. That's good. You can pursue your happiness and pursue your material goods. But at the same time, you also relate to the hard work. So one cannot have both ends. You must earn your success. I thought that's, to me, is the fundamental core value, and that defines what American dream is. American dream is not come here with hands up. You have to fight for it. You have to earn it. I think that's actually what attract the best minds from all over the world to come to this great land, the free. So that's, to me, it's so important. But of course, as first generation immigrant, we mostly, our mode at the beginning is a focus on survival. We mostly focus on our own success and our family's welfare, which is totally right. Nothing wrong with that because they come here. But and also we have to now realize there's something beyond that. That is, we know Americans still facing racial injustice. We still have discrimination. We still have many social problems. And how do we make that? Because when you decided to settle down in any society, there are two fundamental questions you have to consider, right? One is, what's the potential opportunity for you personally and your family to grow? What's the opportunity there, right? The other side is the safety, is stability. You don't want to be in a country that have civil wars and civil, violence and different interruptions. You want that to be a stable environment. And I think America, to me, when we first came to this country, maybe that's same, I would say, true to everyone from all corners of the world come to this country. They believe in two things. One is American spirit, which says, the all men are created equal. Even though we know we're far from the ideal, but that is the calling. At least that's the belief. Then the second thing is we have American democracy that enables Americans to resolve whatever their problem, political, social, racial, and economic, through a transparent, participatory, and democratic process of a peaceful evolution. This is a key, peaceful evolution. And in many other societies, we have violence. We have revolutions. We have other ways which we have to pay a very high social price. So those are things that are important to me, and those are things that make me feel now it's time. We really have to think about beyond just our individual and family American dream. We have to together working for the collective American dream. So that's my answer to your question.
Absolutely. Absolutely fabulous. Yes. Thank you very much, Dr. Zhang, for opening the topic for us in such a comprehensive way. I don't mean complete. I mean, nothing will ever be complete, but in a comprehensive way. The dream as well as the challenges and the evolution of it and stepping up and all that. That promises for a rich discussion further down the line. My next question to you, to further opening up the conversation, is this: you open, what is the American dream? Okay, and you had previously to open up with the three structural challenge facing American society, right? The international balance, economic balance, the rise of the fourth industrial wave of AI, and the changing population makeup. With all that, so the evolving American dream, where is it now? I mean, you didn't talk about the challenges, right? So where is it now? Is it alive and well, or is it sick and ill? Where is it now? Can you please open that for us?
Yeah, my observation is, well, everyone here, I guess we all see in the past, say 12 years, and Obama time, and also Trump, and now we move to Biden. All this turbulence, the up and downs, and even democracy itself was challenged on January 6th. At the times, we all wonder, is American democracy still work? And whether, and of course, we're happy to see in the end, American was able to implement this self-correction, to the silent, I always say silent majority did came out and then try to right the course. But the tension, of course, is serious, and then related, Black Lives Matters and Asian hate crimes, many other things happening. So really make us wonder what's going on with America. But I would offer the observation here. We should see, to me, all of this, change of the presidency, change of policy, all these on the surface. If you look at underneath, there are the structure change, which I talked about earlier, actually will help me at least, maybe can help us to understand the American side better. Because, and on the surface, you see the people change, you see the policy switch between, left, right, and liberal, conservative, etc., etc. But underneath, if you understand the impact of AI-led, the fourth industrial revolution, that's information revolution, you can see which particular group actually been affected most in the past 50 years, 40 to 50 years. That's exactly the uneducated and less educated white manufacturer workers, which was the backbone of this country for many years, and they actually lost a lot of ground in the past 50 years. And on the other side, highly well-educated, including Asian American communities, actually benefit greatly from this AI-led information revolution. So when Trump, went to office, there's so much support from, especially that particular group, was understandable because they are the one actually lost a lot of ground. So those are things. So on surface, you see the change, but I think by the way, my training also is in my PhD in sociology, so I do tends to use this kind of method to observe positive society change. And I've been comparing Eastern and Western culture, especially Chinese and American cultures. So I noticed that. The other thing is the population structure change. And if anyone interested in this, there was one book I would recommend. It's called Next America. That was published actually in 2014. And it was talking about the population structure change in this country. And they based on the census, based on the census data to forecasting of the change. And that change actually implies many political power redistribution, economic power redistribution, and the social change that imply. So I think these are the underlying current which we also understand. And I think the rise of AI and the rise of API are going to be the two major forces that will shape America in the next 20 to 30 years. Back to you. That's kind of my overall observation, but that's why I think it's important to understand that.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Xiao. Would you elaborate a little bit? You're talking about the different changes, and I think in your work, you make a distinction in terms of the time frame of different changes. For example, population change has its own span of evolution. I think in decades, for example, right? Or industrial changes have a different rhythm. And can you comment on that a little bit? Because they don't happen in synchrony, because they have different time frame. Can you just expand on that a little bit?
Just elaborate a little bit. This, by the way, this is like the model I usually use to understand and analyze society. So basically, society can divide into, if we look at three different levels. One level would be policy change, personnel, president, leader change. And usually those, if you put in the frequency, they're swing back and forth. So like 5 to 10 years cycle. Whereas if you look at structure change, like say the fourth industrial revolution, like AI, and also now we're looking at population structure change, American go into a minority-majority society, that kind of structure change usually takes about 50 to 100 years that had impact 50 to 100 years. And then if you go even deeper, if you look at culture and civilization, for example, like the Protestant, the movement back in from the losers days of the 16th century, they still have the lasting impact. Usually those impacts like 500 to 1,000 years. So the different frequency at a different level of social change, actually, they impact each other. So sometimes if we just look at only the surface, and then we may miss the underlying cause. I think for right now, I feel important that we understand the underlying current, how that drives society change. And actually, it's a different frequency of change, and they pull each other. That's why we experiencing social turbulence and especially political swings, and division, and other stuff. So it's reflecting a deeper level of structure change. So I hope that's helpful to the next thing. I'm trying to figure something. No, that we usually use as sociologists, but anyway, if that makes sense.
Thank you for that new frame for us. Yes, and a couple of more frames to open up before we invite everybody to chime in. You did connect the American dream to to American democracy, the democratic process, right, and its peaceful evolution. Lots of debate, very noisy debate, but peaceful nonetheless, right? That's what it's supposed to be in any case. So you established that link. Now, using those things, the American dream and American democracy, can you open up a frame for us in terms of the relevance of those things on the global international arena? Is there a role or a model or a thing for the American dream and American democracy on the global stage, or isn't there, or is that just for Americans?
Good question. That's obviously is a very big topic. I'm only offering some of my personal understanding, and it has been a long argument, especially after the Soviet Union collapse in the 1990s. There has been a lot of optimism about the American democracy or Western democracy would be kind of end of the human political system, right? And evolving under basically saying that other countries such as China and others with centralized control government probably will be gone. And many people actually expecting will be gone now. It will be collapsed like a dominant effect after the Soviet Union. But of course, today we're looking back, it didn't. It wasn't. Then China's still there, and China has achieved some tremendous economic growth. But does that mean American democracy has no value? I don't think so. I think American democracy and Western democracy has helped human race to advance a great deal in the past 500 years. Everybody can see that. But however, on the other side, I also realize this kind of ideological discussion debate sometimes missing a fundamental fact, that is any society has its own historical context. So to me, I feel from sociological perspective, I feel sometimes the idea of trying to chasing a absolute truth or absolute best system, that actually is a thinking trap. That's just my personal opinion, because that traps you to thinking there's only one. By the way, I was growing up in China, and we were taught when we were kids, the same thing. Communist is the end of the story, right? That's the only absolute value. Of course, now we know that is not. So I think maybe the best way, the implication for today, for the international order, for people to coexist peacefully, maybe a better way to think about that is it's not the right or wrong, it's just different choice. And that choice was made within a particular historical context. So in that way, instead of everybody chasing for the absolute truth and who has the best system, and maybe the better way is to we do not fighting for right or wrong, but respect each other's choice and find a way to peacefully coexist and help society move forward. I think that's that's just my personal view. I think that if we lock into the ideological debate forever, that's actually dangerous for everybody in the world. And each country has its own history, historical context, way they have to be able to choose their own way, and we just have to respect each other's choice. Anyway, that's my observation.
Thank you. Thank you. One last frame I'd like to ask you to open up for us, which is the central part of the theme for tonight, is we are talking about stepping from a purely individual American dream to a collective American dream. Can you shine some light about that meaning of a collective American dream in this context, so that before we just open up for everybody to chime in?
Thank you. Actually, I feel the founding father of America, American founding father, they really gave us two very powerful tools, I feel. One, of course, is in the Declaration of Independence, that's the American spirit, all men created equal, right? We have inalienable right for life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. So that's gave the foundation for everyone comes to the land free to achieve their own individual or family American dream. But at the same time, I think the democracy, American democracy with check and balance, also is I know it's still under test. After 200 years, still under a lot of tests and need to be improved. We understand that, but the basic foundation that I still believe is the founding father gave us a way to resolve political, racial, economic, social, or whatever conflict that exists in any society. By the way, not just America, any society exists. They gave us a way to stop that, and they didn't give us a solution to say, when you run into this, you do this, but they gave us a process. That's where I feel was the genius of American democracy, is to allow the check and balance, allow the transparent and the participatory. This is very important, and also transparent process. But the process would be peaceful evolution, of course. Except Civil War, that was a particular historical event. American democracy has been able to manage a peaceful evolution. I know for this year, for January 6th, we're very close, right? But I also noticed that even the militarists stood up. They're only loyal to the Constitution, not to any individual. So I feel American democracy still has a lot of life in there, and of course need a lot of improvement and still need to be improved. But I feel that is the most powerful tool that founding father gave to us, so enable us to resolve all our difference, all our conflict. So that's the base for building the American dream. So the building American dream to me is we have to learn the American way to solving social problems, to solving through coalition, through lobbying, through debate, through peaceful and dialogue, rather than violence and other options. So I feel that part of American democracy, I still feel it is there, it is strong, and that gave us hope. So that's kind of my observation.
Thank you, Dr. Zhang. Thank you so very much for opening this for us. With that, I'm going to shift to part 2 of tonight, and let me reset the room then, and before I open up and get into part 2 of tonight. So this is welcome everybody for coming here to join us tonight. This is the Asian American Network. We are here for Asian Americans and anyone who enjoys Asian culture or who works with Asians. And we meet every week on Tuesday to share stories, support each other, and get to know each other. Our role for the club is to be respectful, to listen fully to each other, and then stepping in and participate. Speak up for yourself and follow the room, please. If you find this useful, please follow the room, follow the moderators, and follow the speakers. The first part was recorded, and now we're going to end the recording. The recording will be edited and posted, but now we're going to end the recording to open up for everybody to very safely participate entirely. I am going to follow the mic sequence with that. The first guest here is Homer. Homer, thanks for joining us once again. I would like to welcome you and invite you to speak up or ask any questions or simply speak up. Thank you again.
Yeah, thanks, Hong.